Hey, so we had an amazing meeting last night, and we just wanted to share some of the highlights with you. And, it's exciting to see how much we've changed since the last couple of months when we just started up. So here's the beautiful thing about being part of a startup is that um, things get better as the months go by. And awesome people, like maybe even yourself, will someday contribute something significant to this business, and we all grow together. So that's pretty exciting. So let's start off with the why, because our starting with why is very important to our core of our business. And the why behind what we're doing right now is we want to create meaningful work for you, for me, for everybody, right? And so what's more meaningful than helping other people? So that's really what our meeting started off with last night is creating meaningful work. How do we help people? And what are areas that people need help in? And a lot of people need help in finance, and finance and real estate go together hand in hand. So that's why we're really gearing towards helping people in 2025 understand just basic planning, basic finance, basic life skills, and solve for housing needs because I think everybody should own a home or a few houses like the rest of us do, right? Anyways, things that school did not teach us. That's what we're going to help other people learn and other people understand. Number two is how do we make money? How can we help AEs, account executives, right? How can we get each account executive to six figures or more in their first year, not 3 years down the road, not 10 years down the road, like a lot of businesses, right? How do we help them make six figures without having to kill themselves? Right. And we don't want you to work, 50, 60, 100 hours a week. How do we get to six figures at a scalable time, right? And with that said, um, we don't really want people waiting like 3 years or whatever for raises. I know when I worked at corporate America, I had to like get my 3% raise per year. What an insult, right? We want people to be tethered to if they're really good at what they do, they're going to get very, very well compensated for it. So pay for performance. We love that. So, and then achievable. We wanted to make something very achievable. So if you're taking notes, write down number 3 point that we talked about was how do we make this achievable? I know that when I worked at corporate America, you had to be there longer than the old people to be able to get promoted. And we don't want that. Because if you're a go-getter and you're hungry and you're awesome, we want you to hit the ground running and explode, right? And also being achievable means that there's no advanced degree required. I'm the guy who went to college forever and got degrees and such, and you don't need that, right? A lot of our most successful people, like I think of somebody that I hired that was a henna tattoo artist. She struggled at first, like most people do in this business, because you got to learn it. The first time we rode a bike, we didn't, be able to do backflips and jump off of ramps. We fell a lot of times the first time we rode a bike, the first time we walked, the first time we did anything, right? And so she went from being henna tattoos, making, 20 to 30 grand a year to being awesome at this role and making 20 to 30 grand a month. And so that was a huge paradigm shift, a huge life shift for somebody like her. And I'm excited because I want to create more opportunities like that. One of the main points to make is that the AE role is not a job. So those note takers, write down not a job, circle it a bunch of times. And let me explain for a second. Because when I say not a job, what I really mean is that it's more like a lifestyle. So if you're here on the job side of the world, um, you know, the bell rings, you got to be in your seat, or you got to be sitting in your cubicle, or you got to be at your station ready to crank, right? And if you're not, it's like we're treated like 5 year olds. You get a little slap on the wrist, right? That's having a job. Here in the lifestyle world of the AE, we feel like you're an intelligent adult. You're not a 5 year old. You know when you work best. Some of us work better in the mornings. I'm a morning person. Some are better in the afternoons. Good on you. That's amazing. We want to play to your strengths, not make you fit into a box, right? That's where it comes into lifestyle. A job, you have a boss that's going to crack their whip over your head. How many people have had a boss that just drove them crazy? I'm going to raise two hands right now, right? Yeah. Feel free to write in the comments. Share some of your stories with us, right? But if you're not 5 year olds, you don't need a boss. If you're grown adults, we're going to put on our big girl pants or big boy pants and do what we need to get done. We don't need somebody looking over our shoulder. If you're an AE, we hired you because you're intelligent enough to know what your job is and to do it. It's that simple. And you know what? If you fail, great. Fail forward. No boss is going to yell at you when you fail. As long as you're operating with honesty and integrity, that's what we really want, right? Get some hustle in there, but operate with honesty and integrity and fail forward. You're not five anymore. Let's not act like it. And another thing about having a job over on this side rather than a lifestyle is that a job, yeah. And I know this because I was a corporate guy. I was a middle level corporate manager. Don't hate me. And, you had to work there for like 30 years before you were able to retire and like live your life. But that was a lie because let's be honest, people at your age, my age, we're not going to get Social Security when we retire. That I don't know what's happened with all that money we poured into it, but it's gone, right? Or it's going to be a really crappy retirement. And let's be honest, most 401ks are a joke. So the idea of killing yourself to maybe someday when you're old and used up and worn out to experience life is it's crazy talk, right? I think you should experience life now. Right now. Work a job like an AE where it doesn't kill you to put the hours in. You got to learn it at first, you'll fail forward, right? But as a lifestyle, you take mini vacations. You go on those trips. You ever wanted to go to UK? Go. You want to go to Thailand? Go. The great thing about this job is you can literally work from just about anything, right? I'm looking for my iPad right now. You can work from your iPad, you can work from your phone, you can work from a computer. You're not geo-tethered anymore. It's not like a job, it's a lifestyle. So if you're good at what you do, you're not, getting up every morning, feeling the drudge of, oh my gosh, my alarm went off. Now I gotta get dressed. I used to wear a suit, so I'm picking it up from the dry cleaners or getting my tie on, press my shirt, go out and sit in rush hour traffic for an hour, hour and a half each way, because Dallas traffic is crazy if you've ever driven through here, right? uh, when you're having a job, that kind of lifestyle, it sucks. Let's be honest, right? But when you have a lifestyle occupation like an AE, like you roll out of bed and here's my office now. Isn't this great? Like it's just right here in my home. I rolled out of bed, got some exercise in, took a shower, cleaned up, threw on the shirt, and here I am. You know, easy. No fighting traffic. Lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. Have a good lifestyle. Don't get a job to so that you can trade your hours, your time for money, right? Because time is the one thing that you can't get back. And I know I'm kind of sticking on this point for a while, the difference between having a job and having a lifestyle. But let's be honest, time is the one thing you can't get back. Think about that for a second. And if you're using your time wisely here in the lifestyle world, you're going to be successful and you're going to explode as an AE and you're going to be faster, smarter, better than, the dredging populace that just wants to, sit behind a cubicle and click a button all day long. We don't want that. Robots are taking those jobs right now. Anyways, time is important. Respect your time. This is very, very important. So let's talk. Let's dive into like the nitty gritty of the AE role for a minute, and let's talk about the paths to success. And the first path to success, and write this down because this is important. I guess you could always rewind it, but I feel like it's best to write things down, and I want you to write this down. As you can tell, I've got a whole bunch of notes here myself. That's why I look down, I'll read the notes, so I'm not missing anything. But the number one thing is leveraging the dialer when you're new. Some of you are coming from um, other businesses like real estate and mortgage and other businesses where you have a book, right? And that's great. But from my experience, if you come in, you start using the dialer, you use our leads, we've got tens of thousands of potential clients in our database, right? You call on them and have meaningful conversations, you're going to build your following, right? So the first point I want to make is leverage the technology to build a following. We've got some great tech for you. We subsidize it. It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to get into this whole tech thing about how excited I am, right? But here's the thing: leverage the tech, and then once you're really, really, really good, leverage the tech. And the goal is let the bots do all the nitty-gritty work, and you just focus on one thing for your first 90 days as have meaningful conversations with our client database, right? Just have meaningful conversations. Don't try to sell anything. People know if you're trying to sell stuff. Don't sell anything. Have meaningful conversations and look for needs. Get to know our product database and what we can do to help people, and you'll find that just about everybody that says hello on the phone is a potential client for you. So focus in on having meaningful conversations, ask great questions. Number two, uh, great way to be successful in this role is to leverage your sphere of influence. And what is your sphere of influence, you might ask? Your sphere of influence are the people that you know in social media, maybe the people at your community, maybe the people at your church, maybe the people at any sports team that you play, right? Anybody that you come in contact with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, that's your sphere of influence, right? And we're not multi-level marketing people, and don't ever be like that where you're like, hey, look what I have to offer, right? Show them success. So if you're leveraging the dialer and you're leveraging the tech over here, right? Then your sphere of influence over here can see that. So celebrate your wins. Be like, hey, I was calling through our client database and I talked to this person that was paying 8% on their mortgage. We talked to them and we helped them pay off a bunch of debt and we lowered their interest rate and now they're saving a couple $1,000s a month. Isn't that exciting? Post that on your social media. Tell your friends about it. Share that with your circle of influence, and I'll tell you something magical will happen. The people who want you to succeed will help you to succeed. And let me say that one more time, because we all have a whole bunch of friends out there that aren't really our friends. Some of them are rooting against us, as weird and as crazy as that sounds, right? The people, I'm going to lean in a little bit, the people who want you to succeed, the people who truly want you to succeed will help you succeed. So think about that and utilize that in your strategy, because as you're over here, you're talking to a whole bunch of people, you're leveraging the technology, you're following up with them, you're sharing your success. That is going to be a whole new pool of business because the people who want you to succeed will say, hey, look, I love that you're helping people with financial planning or credit or real estate. I would love for you to come into my office and talk about that. Or I've got a friend that's looking to buy a house. Or I've got a cousin that's looking to fix their credit. Or I've got this. Those people will send you referrals, your circle of influence, if they're rooting for you. You don't have to ask for business, it'll come to you. Does that make sense? Anyways, next topic is your past client database. And as you're leveraging the technology, you're making calls, you're doing a great job for your clients. The better job you do for your clients, the easier it is to grow and scale your business, right? So when you are doing an amazing job for each of your clients, you ask them for referrals. Just say, hey, look, I'm saving you $1,000 a month. Who else do you know that could use an extra $1,000 a month? And ask them because like-minded people run together in circles, and your past clients already know, love, and trust you. Why not ask them who else you can help within their sphere of influence and see how we help people that help people that help people that help people? So that's the beautiful thing about it. We're not selling anything. We're helping people. We're asking uh, where is your need at, and how can I help fill that? And that's the beautiful thing about it. And then let me give you one more bonus because we talked about leveraging the technology. your circle of influence, and client referrals. So let's talk about kind of a bonus thing. As some of you succeed in your role as an AE, you're going to find that you're pretty good at talking with other businesses, right? And we need people that are in our business to business side, right? I'm one of your business partners at Andtons, right? And so we need more people like this crazy Dave guy that's talking to you right here. And so what we can do is we can set up joint ventures. And here's the beautiful thing about it is that you get compensated a residual from that joint venture that you set up after having one great conversation. And we'll talk about more of that on other videos and such. But I mean, that's a great way to build out you Inc., your business, right? Even though you're an AE, the person in the mirror is really your boss, right? You are your own boss. So, anyways, I digress, right? That's a great way. If you've got, these four streams of income coming in, then that trip to Tahiti is pretty dang realistic, right? Being able to go skiing in the mountains is realistic. Being able to surf the North Shore, that's realistic and a lot of fun. Anyways, I digress. So those are four paths to success that we've got so far, and we're finding more paths to success as this grows. So we're pretty excited with where this is going. Next point, a lot of people want to become leaders. In fact, in today's society, a lot of people think that they're leaders already. So let's talk a little bit about that role and how your career progresses as an AE. So number one is being a senior AE, an SAE. And what does that mean? It means that you don't have to have the responsibilities of running a big team. You don't have the responsibilities of making sure P&L's in check or really running a business. Maybe you just want to be in the phones. Maybe you're doing great on the phones and you're just crushing it. And your circle of influence is sending you referrals. Your past customers are sending you referrals. Maybe you got a couple of joint ventures that you put together. You're getting, and you're loving life. I mean, that's how I was back a few years ago. And I bought a house right here on the golf course. It was great. I'd been in management for many years, and I kind of got burned out on management. So I liked being what would be equivalent to an SAE. I was making great income. My clients loved me. I did a great job for them, and I had a small team of assistants. And that's one of the career growth opportunities. No responsibility, team of assistants, you're good to go, right? Life is easy. We'll go out and golf together. I'm too much of a workaholic, sorry. But that was the dream, at least at that point in my life, right? Second is becoming an AVP, which is close to my heart. I like helping people. So if you want to be an AVP, we actually put you through leadership training, and it's a pretty amazing leadership training. And it's you learn now how to be a manager. We don't want managers, right? This whole AE business is not about management. We don't want people cracking the whip over your head. Remember, go back to lifestyle. We want leaders that know how to do it. So maybe you're putting in a good amount of time and you're getting good results. This means good results, by the way. I use a lot of little hand gestures. This means good, this means bad, right? This means good, this means bad. So, anyways, let's say you're getting really good results and you want to share that with other people. And maybe you've got some friends or family members or whatever that want to get into the business. Or maybe you tap our hiring manager on the shoulder and ask her, hey, can you help me hire a team? I want to share my expertise with other people. Perfect. Let's get you set up for the AVP, which turns into a VP and an SVP route, right? And all it means is that you are doing what you're doing best as an AE, but now you're sharing your expertise with others and you're getting an override on their production too. And you get to help others, help others, help others, help others, which in turn helps you. Isn't that a pretty cool concept, right? And so think of it as like, I remember when I was in corporate, when I climbed the corporate ladder, I could hire in more teams, but I was wiped out because I had to manage everybody that I hired. But as an AVP, you don't manage anybody. You help people. You lead by example. You are the Alexander the Great, charging out front, and your team's leading them behind you. And I love people like that. And my whole role for the last 12 years has been to really develop those of you who want to become AVPs. In our past world, they were branch managers, area managers, divisionals, and regionals. And those were the people that I grew and trained. And so these people that want to help others grow are close to my heart, and we want you to be successful. Now, some of you might say, "Hey, listen, I love this AE role. But Dave, I'm really interested in being in your world, real estate, right? Or lending, right? These are very, very fun worlds to be in. But let me give you a disclaimer. It's nothing like HGTV. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not everything that we see on TV is real. Wish it was. Not happening, right? But here's the deal. NAR, National Association of Realtors, and I saw this post online, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I believe it because it said last year, so 2024, right? 71% of full-time licensed realtors, and these are realtors that are paying their monthly dues, they're paying their tech packages every single month. These are realtors that are investing in their business, paying for all their licensing stuff, driving customers, clients all around town, showing them houses. Busy people, right? That are investing a lot into themselves, into their business. 71% of them didn't sell one house last year. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But here's the thing. They watched HGTV, a lot of them, and wanted to get into the business. Looks easy. It's a pretty kitchen. Why do you buy the house? It's not like that, right? A good realtor start off like you do as an AE, getting on the phones, having meaningful conversations, building out their database, building out their following, building out their spheres of influence, right? Those people, from my experience, and I've been doing this for 20 years, right? From my experience, those always end up being the top loan officers in the lending side and the top realtors in the real estate side. Those people who are really, really good at being proactive, outreach, and expanding their spheres, expanding their following through outreach, right? So, as an AE, if you're successful at an AE and you're doing really well, and you raise your hand and say, "Hey, look, I've got this big following now. They love me. My production's like this. My client reviews are this, like 4.0 or higher. Your clients love you." Then we're going to tap you on the shoulder and be like, "All right, let's pull you into real estate. Or maybe you want to go into financial planning. Or maybe you want to go into credit. Or maybe you want to get into lending, or whatever the case is." When I built all of my lending branches, I would source people out of our AE pool that were great with connecting with other humans. So that's the third way that you can be really successful. And here's the overarching goal. And I'm going to give you the fourth way, but this fourth way is really for that unique person, because this fourth way is really the leadership path on steroids. This is the path that an AVP would turn into, is they would be running this business. I run a mortgage, I run a real estate business. I don't have time to run Andtons. I might be one of the founding partners, but we got a whole bunch of people that have founded this. Um, I have given up my sales side to invest into the AEs at Anton. So that's why y'all are so close to my heart, because when you do well, you send a lot of business to my loan officers. They do well, which means our business thrives, right? And I don't have time to run two, three, four businesses, right? Well, I run two businesses, so I don't have time to run a third. There's only so many hours left in the day. And remember, in our first conversation, time is important. So we want some of you who are experts at this to step up and take the reins and lead this. And you're compensated extremely well, because guys like me, I don't make a cent off of Antons. Not one. I'm here helping you and training you guys and gals because you feed business into our group. So I appreciate you for that. And you are very important to me. So I'm investing my time into you so that way it'll help you grow and explode your career, but I don't actually get paid off of that. We're reserving that income for those people that are your leaders, that want to take charge and want to do an amazing job. And this is nothing like corporate America. Like I'm going to pick on Bank of America for a minute because I was a middle manager there. It sucked. But I remember like working our tail off, seeing all the people that should have been promoted and they weren't. And I remember running like a corporate relocation, and they brought a lady from credit cards over to run corporate relo because she was dating an executive. How was she qualified to even know what we're doing? What a mess. No wonder why Bank of America doesn't even have corporate relo anymore, right? What a mess. We don't want that for Antons. We want Antons to be different. We want the people that actually know what they're doing and can help others. Remember, going back to helping others, being meaningful and helping people. We want the people who are the best helpers, the best at doing this job to run the whole thing and grow it in the areas that we didn't even think about yet, which is pretty darn exciting to me. So, anyways, everybody wants to know, hey, what's the career path? Well, there you go. There's four different ways that you can develop your career path as of shooting this video. And who knows, in 6 months, we might have five or six or eight different ways. But at least that's four different ways that you can grow your career path. All right, moving on. So let's pause for a minute. And this was a question we asked last night. Go ahead and put in the comments, what do you think the best investment is right now? It's January 2024. What do you think or 2025? Holy moly, time's going by fast. What do you think the best investment is right now? Go ahead, put it in. I'll wait for you. I can see you. I'm waiting. Yeah. So last night we got a lot of great responses. Some people said crypto, some people said stock, some people said real estate. You know much about real estate. I've been a real estate investor for 20 years. I'll teach you how to do it. I love real estate, right? Somebody said AI. If you know how to invest in AI and it's skyrocketing, teach this old guy a new trick. I'm curious. So go ahead, put in there. What do you think the best investment is right now? I'm waiting for you. All right. Spoiler. It's a trick question. The best investment is you. You are the best investment. If you're not investing into yourself, and some of you we put down like things like kids or your wife, and that's great. But you know what? You're not going to be able to treat your wife good if your gas tank's empty. If you're out of fuel, you're not going to be able to give her the love, support, finances, quality time that she deserves. Let's be honest, right? So the best investment, and I'm not being selfish here, is you. You got to make sure your tank is full before you can spread the overflow of your life into others, right? So what are different ways that we can invest in ourselves within the idea of Antons and within being an AE? So number one way to invest into yourself is training, and we got tons of optional training. And once again, you're not a widget. You don't have a boss, right? This is a lifestyle group. We covered that, right? But we've got a lot of great training, and this is training that has been put together by those who have come before you and have trudged the path and will help you save time and defeats and help you get through those first, let's just call it 90 days. If you can push forward hard in 90 days, you will be successful, right? And success is defined in a bunch of different ways, but you can define it however you want. You want more free time? Yes, we'll show you how to do more with less, right? You want to climb the ladder? You want to lead teams? Yes, we can show you how to do that very, very easily, right? You want to know how to make six figures right away? We can show you how to get to six figures and right off the bat. Some of you will take a month, some will take 6 months, some will take 6 years, some never want it. So we'll show you how to accomplish what your goal and how to you define success. But you really, really, really need to at least participate in some of the trainings, some of the product trainings, get involved with book club. It's a lot of fun. It's not like this watch a screen video stuff. You know what I'm talking about? There are a lot of fun trainings. Time. Remember, time is your most important asset, but you're going to have to take time to really invest into yourself, and I would say leverage that technology. Leveraging the technology will save you a ton of time. Leveraging something like the dialer that calls 80 people an hour is way faster than clicking through or bothering your friends and family, right? You want to go directly to people that could use your help fast and save you a ton of time, right? Because initially you're going to be putting forth this much effort. This is considered a lot, remember, a lot of effort, and you're going to get very little results, just like riding a bike. You're trying really hard, but you fall on the concrete. But that's okay, because every time you fall, you learn a new lesson. You get better and better and better and better and better, right? And so what happens is when you're doing great, now all that time you're putting in, you can work less because you're getting referrals from your circle of influence. You can work less because your past clients love you. You're sending a lot of the business your way. You can work less because you set up a couple of cool joint ventures, saving a lot of time. You can work less because you invested into yourself. You care about yourself. You not only did the trainings, but you signed up for coaching within the business and out of the business. Like I've got two coaches right now. I love them to death. I coach people. It's amazing, right? And now you're working this much time, but your results are still way up there, right? And you're gonna push until you get to your comfort level. And I always talk about income because it's an easy way to keep score. Some people are like, "Hey, I'm doing 5 grand a month." I'd probably be down there. I'm doing 5 grand a month. I'm doing great. Congratulations. I wish I could live on 5 grand a month, right? Some of you guys are like, "Hey, I'm at 10 or 15 or 20, 30, 50, 80, right? Some of y'all need like 100 grand a month to survive. I don't know. I've been there. I gave most of it away. Um, some of y'all have some really high expectations, and that's great because I think that it's realistic depending on how much you want to pour into over here. Does that make sense? And how much you want to invest into yourself. So time. Write that down. Write down this. If you're not writing, taking down any notes whatsoever, please at least write down this. To be successful as an AE, you got to be great at listening. Wait a minute, Dave. You talk a lot. Yes, I do. I'm not a salesperson. I like to chat. I'm like the old guy that likes to share all my experience with y'all. So you got to listen. You're going to have to listen to your clients. Write that down. Listen. Don't try to sell anything. Listen to them. Hey, one of the our top producers on the mortgage side would call up people and say, "Hey, you're at 7%. We can offer you a lot less, but when's the last time you looked at your financial goals?" Well, we haven't really done that. Why not? Well, because we're a little bit behind on our bills. How did that happen? Well, because of X, Y, and Z. Everybody's got an X, Y, and Z, right? A reason for the bump in the road, or the thorn in their side, or the rock in their shoe, whatever the case is, right? Now we've got a lot of different products, we've got a lot of different services that can solve for whatever their XYZ is. Does that make sense? And we're going to offer that to them as a solution rather than be like, oh my gosh, we got the best thing ever. We're going to lower your interest rate. Maybe lowering the interest rate isn't the best option for them, right? Maybe consolidating some of that. Maybe just coming up with a good financial plan is the best route. And you get compensated for each one of those routes. Maybe they've missed a bunch of payments. So now you get them into credit repair. You get paid to get them into credit repair. And then you sign them up for a class that teaches them how to balance their finances and everything else that comes along with that. Now you get paid again. And now they do a pre-op to buy a house and now you get paid again. And you did such a good job for them that they bought more houses because they're an investor. They became like me or like you might be, investing into some real estate. So one good listening conversation can turn into offering your customer and fulfilling their needs, and you're getting paid repeatedly off of the same person because you're helping people. Remember, going back to helping people. Anyway, so listening. The other part of listening is you got to listen to yourself. I don't like the sound of my voice. In my head, I sound different than how I sound on camera and how I sound on the phone. But if you're like me, you got to get over it. That's just something that's got to happen. You got to listen to your calls. And if you signed up to work with a coach, they will help you with your calls. And here's the deal. You have to listen, especially your first 90 days. And let's say you're putting forth this much effort and your results kind of went to here and they plateaued. You got to listen to your calls. Listen to your calls, listen to your calls, listen to your calls, listen to your calls. That's why the core of the AE, especially for the first year, I would say, is all about making calls because you can fine tune that calls. Now, you might get to the point where after 6 months or a year, you don't make calls anymore and you're out um, prospecting builders or real estate agencies or whatever the case is, right? Business partners, basically. You will have a much more polished presentation by listening to your calls and fine tuning how you say things. I know I ramble a little bit, but notice how I don't when I'm talking to you, I'm not like and if you talk like that, that's fine. We can fix it. Oh, we've helped so many people. I was an engineer. I didn't know how to talk to people, let alone communicate. And I got to the point, and I'm a little rough around the edges now, but I got to the point where I was very savvy and I could communicate very well. And the best part about that is because I listened to a lot of my calls, I listened to how I was communicating. I not only became better at my job as an AE, right? I had better relationships. I was able to communicate with my friends better. I still get a lot of freebies when I go out and about and just it's funny. You're in line at Chick-fil-A and they're having a rough day. You're like, man, you look like you're having a rough day. Can I get you a shake? And then you get a shake for free. It's like it's crazy. I'm telling you, the better you listen, the better you are at communicating. Everything's better. Anyways, I'll digress for a second. I'll listen to you more. Awareness. Here's another thing to invest in is your awareness. Awareness of what your client is telling you because you're listening, but you got to be aware of what they're telling you. And you got to build awareness around you. And this goes back to things like your sphere of influence that we talked about earlier. And I'll just use that as an example. There's 100 different examples, but let's just say you're building awareness. Every time you have a great call that leads into um, maybe the client ends up not doing business with us, and that's okay too. But maybe you help to set them on a trajectory because our goal is to help people, right? Now you've set them on a trajectory that's better than where they were. Celebrate that success, throw it out on social media. I helped this person. I was a small verse in their phone. But you know what? By changing their trajectory, maybe I saved their marriage because most marriages fall apart because of finances. They love each other a lot. That's usually not the issue. They usually genuinely love each other, but now their finances are strained, so now there's something to fight about. Now, once one person's working more to try to pay stuff off, so now they're not getting the quality time together. The other person's wiped out because their job's draining, and they don't work at Andtons with us, so their job sucks, and they're mad at all the time, so they take that out on their spouse, and now that contention ends up like pounding and pounding away at each other. Maybe you do something like just change that trajectory a little bit and help these people out. That's what it's all about. Helping people. So building that awareness, build awareness, build awareness, build awareness. Um, Next thing we're going to talk about is money. And this is always a sensitive topic. Any of you who have ever been to a charity or have gone to church or served in the community know that, anytime money comes up, everybody's like, oh my goodness. All the successful people invest into themselves. Sorry, it just is what it is. The free stuff is exactly you pay for what you get, right? So, um, I personally I've hired many, many coaches in the past to make me a lot better at what I did. Even when I was a bigwig and I'm on the top of the house and I'm managing divisions, I still had a business coach. But why, Dave? You were amazing back then because they can see your blind spots, right? It was worth every single penny, right? And I'm not saying sign up for coaching right now. I'm not saying invest into getting a bachelor's degree or doctorate degree. I'm not saying invest into a better car. I'm saying Your initial investment as an AE is a tech package. We pay a lot of money for the tech package, and we spend thousands of dollars a month in acquiring new customers and everything like that. We only ask for a small amount so that you've got some skin in the game. Because I found if people don't have skin in the game, they're not going to do it. So if the tech package is, let's say, and it's growing every day, let's say it's $1,000 a month right now, we're only asking people to chip in a couple $100, right? Because it shows that they've got skin in the game and it shows that they're willing to invest in themselves. But hold on a second, hold on a second. I believe in those people that are willing to invest in themselves, and hopefully that's you. Hopefully you're willing to invest in yourself so much that I'm willing to invest $5,000 into you. Oh yes. Oh yes. So all of you that are like, oh my gosh, a couple $100 are like $5,000. So don't step over uh, dollars to pick up pennies, right? So if I'm willing to invest $5,000 in you, and there's a catch, of course, always you actually have to work. You can't just like be like, hey man, I'm gaming today, like pay me my 5 grand. No, no. The goal is that you complete in the Google Doc sheet, which shows your plan for everything. There's a check sheet of all the things that you can do in the first month to be amazing and have a great start to this career, right? Which means that you're probably already going to earn anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 your first month to begin with. And then I'll throw on an extra $5,000 because I'm too nice. And this isn't something that lasts forever because Anton's is small and we're growing right now. Once we're already established and there's a ton of people, this goes away, right? But for right now, as we're ironing out some of the kinks, I'm going to invest into you, right? If you do the right things. So the goal is that you make 9, 10, $12,000 in your first month. Dave, why do we want to pay people so much? It goes back up to the top of your note sheet, right? How do we get people to six figures? Once you're making six figures, and it doesn't matter where you're at, it doesn't matter where you're at. Uh, I used the girl that did henna tattoos, Candace, right? As an example, do you think that she'd ever be happy going back to making 20 grand a year when she's made 20 grand a month? No. So here's the deal, and I can name off a bunch of people that we've done this with and yielded great results. Is once your income gets to this, you're no longer happy settling for peanuts anymore. So you're going to put forth the effort to be able to keep this up, and if you can put forth that effort, right, until your production is up here consistently, then you can start dialing it back and having that lifestyle. Whatever it is, that lifestyle that you want. Make more money, have better relationships, travel, whatever it is, but it'll keep that production up. Does that make sense? So I'm willing to invest in you. For anybody who's worried about paying for a tech package, there you go. That's 2 years of tech package if you just do the simple thing of starting the job off right. So very, very easy. One thing we're going to end with here is going to be the products that we offer. Now, this is something that's changing right now in a good way. So, Anton started off because those of us who invested into this were in mortgage and real estate, right? So this is going to be the bulk of your clients. We've got I'd have to ask Tam, but somewhere between 40 and 60,000 people who are either inquiries or past clients or people that we can help or serve. And we're going to reach out to them because we already know that this is a good client for us. So we've got a huge database of that from the real estate side. And so as an AE, you learn things like how to take a pre-op and how to offer online classes and how to educate people and things of that nature, right? So that's where it starts, right? So that's where we started off, where we're offering solutions for real estate, for financing. We've actually expanded recently into classes. We're revamping all of our homebuyer classes and we're revamping all of our investor classes. And these are things that you get to learn too. Learn how to be a property investor like I've been. And I'll share some stories with you, but this video is going pretty long. So we'll save that to another day, right? But we'll show you how to be a property investor. We're going to teach other people how to do that too. But now we found that a lot of people especially in this economy, are struggling with credit. So now we offer credit services, and we actually have a person that's licensed and bonded with the state, so they're legit. They're not like I don't want to diss any other companies out there. They're not scam artists like so many places in credit, because the goal is, once again, help people. We want to help you, help others, help others, help others, right? So now we're offering mortgage, real estate, online classes, credit. Next quarter, we'll have our financial planning up and running. April will have is our tentative date for offering insurance services, and then we got an inquiry from another business partner that wants to be everything that we're doing now touches finance and touches real estate, right? And so we've got 5 different products on this side, but we were tapped on the shoulder, and there's another company that offers wellness programs that help with um, health and longevity and things of that nature. And we need to vet them and everything, because we don't want to offer products and services that don't aren't absolutely fantastic, right? We want to be the Costco of of this world, right? We don't want to offer junk, although Costco kind of, Anyways, um, so we're adding more, and it's getting a little bit out of scope for us, and that's exciting, because whatever your passion is, and remember, you can stay here as an AE, or you could say, hey, I really like the insurance world. I This is something I'm passionate about. I'm going to go get my license, and I've got this big book of business from working at Andtons for 6 months or 6 years or whatever the case is, right? I've got this big book of business. I'm going to switch over to and work with one of our insurance partners, or to send you a, I don't know, gift basket, and we're going to celebrate. And if you're local, we're probably going to go out and party a little bit and celebrate your success, right? But that's what those are the products that we offer right now, and it's changing at the moment. We're not getting rid of anything, we're just adding to, which means that you'll have more opportunities to help people, because once again, we want to help people, and we want to find a way to help people quickly, so they're not spending a lot of time in your life on, you know this, right? We want to make sure that you're making 6 figures, and we want to make this all achievable in your first year. I can't think of any other occupation where you can go from 0 to 6 figures in your first year that's ethical, legal, and this easy, where we give you so many resources, so many tools, so much technology, so many people who've been there before that can help you. Um, then we'll just leave it with that, because we're nearing the top of the hour, and I want to leave some space here for you to really consider this, take some notes, rewind the video, ask me questions. Like, and we've got other people that are better at other things. Like, if you're interested in joining the team, we'll get you with Shrudi's team, or the hiring group. Or if you want to check out some of our social media, we can talk with Jose. And if you're interested in learning more about the real estate world, we can get you in touch with Tam. If you're interested in the lending world, yours truly, right? We've got uh, a couple of really great financial planners that you can speak with. I mean, there's so much opportunity here for you to help people. And I would love if you would just comment below. And even if you're not ready for an AE role right now, and you're like, hey, Dave, this isn't for me, um, go ahead and follow us, because this is changing. And who knows? We might end up hiring that right AE that starts taking this company over and starts offering things that we haven't even thought about yet, and that might be your thing. And we'd love to have a variety of people from various backgrounds and be very diverse. I mean, we're not geo-tethered anymore, so we can really work this job from anywhere. Technically, according to HR, our HR peeps, we have to stay in the continental U.S. and you have to be a U.S. citizen, or work here legally, that kind of stuff. But um, heck, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can work from Tahiti if you wanted to. So, anyways, I digress. Watch some more of our videos. I think that you'll be excited as we keep changing and we keep improving, and more things fall into place. We got some pretty cool tech that's coming down the line. We're really excited about. AI is amazing, and we're going to leverage it to take away the harder parts of the role, and that way it just keeps you building relationships. Because in the end, and we'll end it with this is a relationship business. It's all about having good relationships. And if you don't have good relationships, we can train you to have good relationships. And in life, in business, and in everything else. We love you guys. Appreciate you sticking around, watching this entire video. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me, David at Andtons.com. Have an amazing day.